In the blink of an eye, we found ourselves back in Spain and heading for the Somiedo Nature Reserve. We'd never heard of it before, but liked the sound of it after a bit of research. Due to us being behind schedule, we had to alter the trip, and this is what we chose just by looking at the map. This is why these trips are so enjoyable. You never know where you're going to end up, and the element of the unknown makes things that bit more exciting. As you can see, the weather is fine again. The bikes have been spot on and the roads have been at varying levels of quality. However, today we would come across one or two that weren't exactly the best. On this leg of the journey, the roads deteriorated quite badly. The surface was old and worn, and there was potholes aplenty, so we had to take our time. We'd been spoilt in the Picos, but here was a totally different story. And if anybody knows what these things are at the side of the road, let me know in the comments below please, because I've not got a clue. If the roads were bad before, they'd now got even worse. Now I know my Spanish isn't great, but a road closed sign is pretty much the same the world over. But Chris was having none of it. We needed that road, so we was taking it. Turns out the road wasn't bad, it was just being resurfaced. It's pretty slow going, and I was expecting to get a ticking off by some workmen at some point, but none were about, so we just cracked on. As we got to the junction at the end of the road, we needed to go straight on, but as you can see, closed. Great. That left us with the option of left or right and forcing the sat-nav to find a new route for us. We opted for left. We was heading in the direction of a town called Villablino, which is just outside the Somiedo Nature Reserve. Due to the road closure though, the sat-nav had sent us in one big circle, trying to get us back on that road which was closed, which was becoming a little bit frustrating. But before too long we managed to break the cycle and we seemed to be on our way. We have stopped at the side of the road just outside of a town called Almagarinos, and Chris is nerding out over fossils. Could be a long stop this one. And what do you suggest that is?
That. Fern. Fern.
Once Chris had finished his Attenborough impersonation, we carried on our journey, and it didn't take long for it to turn into an absolute cracker. This is the point the ride went off the scale in terms of the surroundings. Absolutely amazing place. Unfortunately, I couldn't film the final 20 minutes of the ride as the roads became very twisty and very technical, so all my concentration was on riding rather than filming. There was hairpins galore, so not the fastest of roads, which suits a pair of old plodders like us. Well, me at least. We were staying the night in a small village named Portugal de Somiedo, which was in the heart of the nature reserve. So after a long trek from Portugal, a warm one again, as you can see, tanned again, burnt, we are now in the Somiedo Nature Reserve. Everybody bangs on about the Picos, and rightly so. It's a nice place, great scenery, but this place absolutely takes the biscuit. We're now in a town called Portugal de Somiedo, and it is absolutely stunning. The ride in, one of the best I've ever had, to be perfectly honest with you. You've got to add this place to your list if you're coming on a biking trip around Spain. Don't just stay in the Picos, get round here. The twisties galore. The scenery is absolutely spectacular. Seriously, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It just goes on and on and on. We're currently staying in the Castillo del Alba, which is there. Great little place. So I recommend this little town, and I definitely recommend this area. Get yourself here, guys. Don't just stay in the Picos area. Get out there and see a little bit more of what Spain's got to offer. As we sat and had a few beers outside the hotel, it became apparent that it was quite popular with some of the locals, albeit those of the canine variety. Numerous doggos had come to pay us a visit, and one in particular was quite keen on playing fetch with anything it could find. Really? You want that? Yeah? With breakfast in the tank, it was time to have a little explore around the village before we departed. It was an amazing little place, and home to only a couple of hundred residents, living in its 114 homes. How lucky they are to live here. The village is located 2,300 feet above sea level, and is the capital of the municipality of Somiedo, and also the HQ of the natural park. Imagine waking up to this every morning. Lucky buggers. Believe it or not, this dog's name was Chase. I think he scared Chris into taking the wrong turn. I'll let you be the judge of that. Anyway, it was time to say goodbye to our four-legged friends and leave this fantastic little village behind. The ride out was to be every bit as spectacular as the ride in, as we was coastbound and heading for Riba de Sella.